Hello, welcome back. As you can see, I've got lots of bits and pieces all painted up here, and I've actually had to change the plan. You may remember from last time I said that I would fasten the cabin boiler onto the chassis. Unfortunately that just wasn't going to fly, it wasn't going to work. So what I've done instead, just let me move some of this stuff around. I'll move that over there. Bring these in. These are the ones we want to see first. So the boiler, the cabinet boiler, as you can see, painted, and I've painted it. It says it's a Vallejo gloss paint, black, but it doesn't seem to. I don't think that's a gloss. I think that's a semi-gloss. And to be honest, I'm very happy with that. I didn't really want it a very shiny gloss, so that's what I've got there. Is a semi-gloss. I've painted the underneath along here, here and along there in a matte black, and then when I've sprayed the top half, it blends in seamlessly with the matte underneath, and I think that works really quite well. I'm quite happy with that. You may notice that there's some wires sticking out. I've got the wires in for the light at the front. That's obviously got to be detailed yet, and I've got the wires in for the light in the cab. That's in there, and the wires come along underneath. Oops, it's quite big to get onto the picture. This, the wires come along underneath and then around under the cab, and then the two sets of lights join together underneath there. Then they will go on, continue on, and go into the tender where the batteries and switches will be. And to be honest, you can't really see it, even when you know it's there. It doesn't look like a wire. When it's on the chassis, it won't look like a wire at all. Now, more to the point, that's all of that. The section I'm up to really is, I should be putting the two pieces together and then putting these sand pipes on. This piece on the top here, this here, is a sand box, and the pipes carry the sand down to the wheels so that you can gain a bit of traction if it's a bit slippy, starting uphill for example, I guess. I can't put those on until I've put the boiler on top of the chassis, because it goes through to and joins the two together. And I can't put the boiler onto the chassis until I assemble all the brakes. I was going to put it on and then try and turn it all upside down, and what I realised there is it's going to fall over. It's fallen over a couple of times as it is, even like this. You may notice I've lost one of the handles off here. Fortunately there is a spare one in the kit, so I'll get away with that. There's a couple of other little bits that have been damaged by it rolling over. It's not at all steady like that. It tends to roll over. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to assemble all the brakes on the bottom, the wheels, the brakes and all the brake levers. I'm going to assemble those on the bottom and then turn it over, then put the boiler and the cab on top of it. Now when I see, I'll tell you what, I'll do the lights on this first. I may have mentioned on the last video that I was going to put lights in it. There's a lot of photographs as always with this video, so these lights are yet to be detailed, but you can see the LEDs in there. The wires go very, very thin wires, come down the back here, and it's all going to be painted red yet, and down the back here. I might paint them black actually, that makes more sense. And then run along underneath. At this point here the two sets of wires join together, run along and all the way to the back, out underneath the cab here, and then into the tender. There's also got to be a resistor that goes on those, because they're only very, very small LEDs, and the resistor would go in before it goes onto the battery. All of that, all of those lights you can buy off Amazon, dirt cheap, couple of quid for as many as you want really. These are ideal for the modelling though. The wires very thin, and they're coated and they're insulated in varnish. And to join them together, simply use a cigarette lighter, a match even, melt the varnish off, then solder them together. Very clever idea, and it makes the wires almost invisible once they're painted. So that's that. Now, if you don't, in my view, and it is only my view, I know other people do it completely differently, if you paint this lot when you've got it assembled, you're going to miss huge amounts. You're not going to get a very good paint job either, I don't think. So what I've done is I've painted the whole thing, as you can see, painted all the bits that have got to go on it. These two pistons here go on the side of the chassis there, okay, and they supply the motive force in and out to drive the wheels round. So they're quite an important piece of kit on the drive line. Now this here, I don't know how well you can see that. Let me see if I can get in a bit closer. Yeah, you can see on the back of this one there's a huge dent. It actually goes down like that across there. There was another one on the front of it here. So what I've done is I bought some styrene, that's 0.25mm styrene sheet, and cut a little piece out, put it on the top so you get a nice smooth piece on there, and when it's painted, when it gets another coat of paint, that'll look fantastic. But it didn't look right at all with that seam down the middle, and no matter how much sanding I did, I couldn't make it go away. That was the same on both of them. I think now you can see it better on that one. Yes, you can see that seam better on that one when it's turned that way there. You can see it on there. It's really bad seam on it. So that's those two. The walkways I painted matte black because I intend to rust those up. They would get rusty, it's as simple as that. And you might notice I've left a little bit of sprue on, and on that little bit of sprue I've left the numbers, the part numbers. Can you see it? Can you? No. Yeah, you can just about see it. I've left the part numbers because of course when you take all this lot apart, and some of it looks quite similar to other parts, it's going to be difficult to work out which is which. All these rods for the drive line have been painted, and they'll be detailed with silver all over on the tops where they're moved. They're nice, they're done. And all these brake levers, brake rods, there's really quite a lot of them, as you can see over here, this area here. And they've all got to go under there, and then when it's all fastened together, then I'll turn it back over and, as I say, put the boiler back on top of it. There's a couple of other little bits I've done. A little toolbox that goes on the side. That toolbox actually hides that piece of kit there. Yep, oh, hiding it with my fingers, hides that. And these two baffles go at the front of the boiler. Yeah, you can just about see that. They go at the front of the boiler there. In real life they were made out of timber slats with an iron frame all the way round it. So I might put a little bit of rust on the iron frame, but they would be painted the same colour as the train. And that is about where I'm up to. Oh no, it's not. The brake shoes, as you can see, they're really quite. I've left them on these pieces of paper here and stuck on their toothpicks, if you like, with their number on them so that I don't get it all mixed up. They're all very similar, but they're all handed. I'd be there for hours trying to sort out. And I've detailed them. A little bit of brown on the outside, which would be rusty, that side. Steel colour on the inside where they would make contact with the wheels. Again, you'd never get that detail on if you put it all together before you painted it. The wheels, easy enough. Two pieces of plastic to put together. Spray paint them, and then bit of steel colouring around the edges around the wheel itself, the tyre as it would be called. And what else have we got? That's about it. That's about all I've got. So I've got a lot of sticking together to do, little bits and pieces to stick together, and once I've got that all together, then I'll make a video and show you how I've got along with it. To me, it looks quite striking in the black and red. I didn't like the camouflage colour at all, as I've probably already mentioned, and no matter where I've looked on the internet and the museums for this train, I can't find any references to one being painted this colour. I'm sure there were at some point, but I can't find them, which is why I've gone with the black and red. And obviously I've given a lot more detail than a black and red as well, so it's obviously their preference. That's better, you can see it better there. But there's a lot of little bits and pieces that have got to be painted red that, if you were painting it a camouflage colour, it wouldn't matter. If you're painting it as black and red, it's got to be right, you know. You've got to paint it all before you put it together. That's in my opinion, and I'm sure other people will have another opinion. Any questions, any comments, as always, please leave them in the boxes below, and it would be fantastic if you could like and subscribe. Thanks very much for watching. See you next time. Ta-da!